Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is my 2006 S55 AMG. There were only 429 of these ever made, and who knows how many are still on the road. In this video, we're gonna go over how I found this car, what I paid for this car, why I picked this one over all the other ones I saw, the cost of maintenance and what maintenance is due. We're gonna dive into the S-Class history and the S-Class in general. We're also gonna do a little comparison of the E55 versus the S55, because originally I was looking for an E55, but when I stumbled on the S55, I really couldn't look back, because this really met everything I was looking for and then some. So let's get started. Is this car perfect? No. Mechanically, it is sound. I've been beaten out of this car for the last few months, and it has taken it with stride. No leaks, no smoke, nothing. Though, since the car has over 100K on it, 108 to be specific, it does need the post 100K maintenance. And that gets really expensive if you're going to the dealer. I mean, it's kind of expensive when you still got to buy the parts yourself, which we're gonna go over, because the car needs brakes, it needs all the fluids changed, it needs the valve block seals rebuilt, so at the same time, then all the fluids have to be changed on the hydraulic system. But honestly, all these changes will carry it for the next 100,000 miles. So overall, this car was remarkable when I inspected it right before I purchased it. I was shocked because this was one of the first M113Ks that I saw without the valve cover gaskets leaking. So that means they were most likely done, or this was a miracle. I would say they were most likely done. So we're gonna get into everything that this car needs, the costs. I'm gonna break down as much as I can, the tools that I'm using. All the links will be in the description. Mercedes-AMG is founded on a central philosophy: one man, one engine. This means every Mercedes-AMG engine is carefully assembled by a single master engine builder. The 2006 S55 AMG is rated at 493 horsepower and 516 foot-pounds of torque. Powered by the M113 5.4 compressor, it is a supercharged and twin intercooled version of the 5.4-liter M113. It is commonly referred to as the M113K, where the K stands for compressor. Assembled at AMG's Affalterbach, Germany plant, the M113K has an aluminum engine block and aluminum single overhead camshaft cylinder head that house 3 valves per cylinder, 2 intake, 1 exhaust, with 2 spark plugs per cylinder. Other features include sequential fuel injection, fracture split forged steel connecting rods, a 1-pieced camshaft, and magnesium intake manifold. The cylinders are lined with silicon aluminum, which results in an engine that has lower friction, excellent sealing, improved dimensional stability, improved heat dissipation, reduced weight, and a higher durability compared to the traditional aluminum blocks that utilize cast iron cylinder liners. Once an engine is built to completion, the master engine builder signs it for a human touch as well as a mark of quality and distinction. Pre-safe collision avoidance and response system debuted with the W220 S-Class facelift in 2003. This responsive system is designed to give the car reflexes. In fractions of a second, the S-Class detects dangerous situations and activates pre-safe, using electronic stability control sensors to measure steering angle, vehicle yaw, and lateral acceleration, including the brake assist sensors to detect emergency braking. The system can tighten the seatbelts, adjust seat positions including rear seats, raise folded rear headrests, and close the sunroof if it detects a possible collision, including rollover. The seats are moved into their optimal protection position so the occupants are best prepared for an accident. Later models of the pre-safe system was supplemented by an additional function that can close any open window if necessary. If the accident does not take place, pre-safe deactivates and the systems are again placed into normal operation.
Where's the office? Back at division?
You're in the office, baby. Going up. Today's a training day, Officer Hoyt.
There's a world inside my head. I get lost in it from time to time. No one has a spare key, the only one is inside of me.
So originally I was looking for an E55 and I was searching through Facebook Marketplace, but I couldn't find one that I could connect with and one that was in my budget. All the ones that I connected with were twice my budget, if not more, and I didn't want to spend that kind of money. And the ones that were around my budget were really a disaster. But because I kept searching for an E55, Facebook Marketplace suggested the S55. And when I saw this car, it was love at first sight. So I started to do my research on the S-Class and the S55, and the more I did, the more I knew this was the perfect car for me. I knew I was going to use it as a daily driver. I kind of was searching through Facebook Marketplace again, and I stumbled across this 2006 once more, and I noticed he cut the price down from $10,000 to $9,000. So I called him up, I drove to his house, I did the best pre-purchase inspection I could do on the street for this car, and honestly, I couldn't find one mechanical or electronical fault. Everything worked. There wasn't any leaks anywhere. Not at the valve cover gasket, not at the rear main seal, not at the oil pan, not at the transmission pan, not at the rear. So I really couldn't use any of that against it. It was really meticulous. It was definitely maintained. So in the end, we shook at $7,000 and this was mine. So on the S55 versus the E55, the suspension on the S55 is called ABC, which stands for Active Body Control. It is a hydraulic-based suspension versus the air-based system on the E55 called the Airmatic. Being that it's hydraulic-based, its response is instantaneous. Also, there are sensors in each one of the shocks to make sure the car is level at all times. You're able to run 19-inch wheels with stretched low-profile tires and still drive on a cloud. but at the same time, handle like a sports car. So I really love everything about the ABC suspension. And there are no sway bars on this car. Everything is handled in the ABC suspension, and there's no end links to replace, so that's always a bonus. Another positive feature of the S-Class for me, since it's being a daily driver, is the size. It's a big car, it's very comfortable. You know, it has the dynamic seats with the active bolstering that inflates each bolster as you take a turn to keep you centered in the seats. They're heated and air conditioned, and it's got massaging seats. I'll tell you, after a long hard day, even in the summer, you blast that AC, you turn on the heated seat, you put on the massage, and you let it work down that back. It is amazing, super comfortable. The back seat is very roomy versus the E55, which is a little cramped. My stepfather is about 6'1", and sitting in the back seat of this car, and I sit kind of back, there's about that much space between his knee and the back seat. So it's definitely very comfortable if you're gonna be driving around with people or traveling. The trunk is tremendous in this car. There are a lot of benefits in the S-Class over the E55 for a daily driver. And I know there's people that are gonna complain, well, you know, the E55 is lighter, so it's faster. Once you start modding these cars, the weight difference is nil. Another great benefit with the S55 is all the glass is double pane, and it's sandwiched with an infrared film in between them. So not only is it good for sound deadening, it blocks all those heat rays pummeling the car during the day, so when you get into the car, you're not walking into a 1,000-degree cabin. This is a nice benefit that's found on the S-Class. Along with the double pane glass, there's also soft closed doors, which really is a beautiful feature. Just clicking in the latch on the door and the door does the rest to close it. Also, there were two features I really wanted when I was looking for an S55. One was the keyless go and the other one was the Parkotronic. And this 2006 had both. So I knew I was definitely gonna pick this one when I was inspecting this vehicle. Now, when it comes to maintenance, there's nothing out of the norm compared to any other European car with this car. But mainly, the oil change on this car, 8.5 to 9.5 quarts, synthetic oil, filter, done. Once this overhaul on the post 100K is done, I'm just gonna have to do the basic stuff. We're also gonna use some additives that I have some experience with that I know definitely do a phenomenal job, but we'll cover that in another video. When I first got the car, it had a recent oil change, and in that oil change, they did do the supercharger oil also. That's what the owner told me. But when I do the video on the post 100K, which we're literally gonna be servicing everything you can really service in here and that needs to be serviced, we'll cover all that. But we're just gonna check the condition of the fluids because it's been a few thousand miles, so let's see how everything looks. All right, so it's been a few thousand miles since I've owned this car. So I just want to check the status of the fluids in the vehicle. We have had some really hot weather, some heat waves already. Just to start, you could see that I definitely need a new lid for this. This one's destroyed, but they sell them fairly cheap. I think you can get a replacement one for 10 or 15 bucks. I'll probably put the link in the description to one. I did notice right here some residue, and you could see it looks like coolant might have built some pressure. I know that this was pretty much full when I first got it, and it's still within good ranges. It's literally right above where my finger is right now. So it's still in a safe region. Nothing to worry about. It's not bone dry, but we are gonna take care of all this soon. So with the W220 and most of the newer Mercedes, where an oil dipstick would be, you get this little doodad. I ordered this from Amazon. There we go. And yeah, it's about 101 millimeters. So let's check the transmission fluid. You're gonna need to push that tab down. See if I can do this with the knife. Yep, all right, perfect. So I also got this mechanical dipstick from Amazon. So again, these aren't meant to completely seal off because they're meant to work with numerous transmissions, but I could see that we've bottomed out now. And of course, the ice cream man. Honestly, I don't think all the free ice cream in the world is compensation enough for driving around and listening to that all day. But moving along. So the transmission fluid dipstick is bottomed out. The color is not bad. Now this is for the power steering pump, and this is for the ABC suspension. Hopefully you can hear me over that noise. So the levels on this are actually perfect, though it is a very dark green. It definitely needs to be serviced, which we'll be addressing when we do the valve block seals because of Mr. Rear Driver that likes to sag. Now the brake fluid levels are fine. Overall, the S55 is in phenomenal condition. The fluids need to be refreshed, which we're going to address in a future video, but there's one minor cosmetic sore which we can fix right now. There are more projects coming up. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to see hints of what's coming next. My name is Levi. Welcome to the Ultra channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.